Welcome to Quiz Cues. This is amazing. Are you ready to play Cluephoria? Today we're playing the 6th edition of Who Am I? Guess the 35 famous icons from their childhood photo, plus 3 clues. If you like these quizzes and want to see more, please subscribe. It encourages me to continuously create new content for your enjoyment. Thank you. Are you ready? Let's go! Who am I? Score 4 points for a correct answer now. I was born the 4th of 12 children in a one-room cabin, and my father paid the doctor who delivered me with a bag of cornmeal. Score 3 points for a correct answer now. In 1967, I caught my big break being hired as the girl singer on The Porter Wagoner Show. Score 2 points for a correct answer now. I am an 11-time Grammy winner who built my own theme park and famously sang about a coat of many colors. Score 1 point for a correct answer now. Dolly Parton, the legendary country singer, was born in 1946 and became a global icon by the 1970s. She spent 5 years on a weekly television variety show before launching her solo career and composing more than 3,000 songs. Who am I? I was born in California, and my parents divorced when I was 5, and by age 10, I had lived in 10 different houses. In 1980, I starred in a TV comedy where I had to dress in drag to live in an all-female apartment building. I am the only actor to win back-to-back Best Actor Oscars since the 1930s. Tom Hanks. The beloved actor was born in 1956 and became America's most trusted leading man by the late 1980s. He won Best Actor for Philadelphia in Forrest Gump after getting his start in the sitcom Bosom Buddies. Who am I? I once worked as a coffin polisher for a local undertaker in Edinburgh before joining the Royal Navy. In 1959, Walt Disney cast me in a fantasy film called Darby O'Gill and the Little People about a wily Irishman and a pot of gold. I was the original actor to portray the cinematic spy, codenamed 007. Sean Connery. The legendary actor was born in 1930 and became cinema's most famous secret agent during the 1960s. Walt Disney gave him his first major film role in 1959 before he introduced the world to James Bond in 1962. Who am I? My stepfather taught me to sing by placing marbles in my mouth to improve my diction. In 1957, I starred in a TV musical written for me by Rodgers and Hammerstein that was seen by over 100 million viewers. I taught the world to sing Do, Re, Mi before fleeing the Nazis with the Von Trapp family over the Alps. Julie Andrews. The legendary performer was born in 1935 and became the defining leading lady of Hollywood musicals by the mid-1960s. She starred in Cinderella in 1957, then won an Oscar for her 1964 film debut in The Sound of Music. Who am I? I was born Reginald Dwight in a London suburb, and I won a scholarship to the Royal Academy of Music at age 11. In 1970, I made my American debut in a legendary 6-night stand at a tiny West Hollywood club introduced by Neil Diamond to a crowd of music industry insiders. I am the flamboyant piano man who rewrote A Farewell to Princess Diana. Elton John. The flamboyant piano man was born in 1947 and became one of the best-selling artists of the 1970s. He made his American debut at the Troubadour in West Hollywood before rewriting Candle in the Wind as A Farewell to Princess Diana. Who am I? I was born 6 weeks premature and I lost my sight forever in a hospital incubator and taught myself piano, harmonica, and drums before age 10. In 1963, a live recording of me playing harmonica and singing at a Chicago theater became my first #1 hit at age 13. I am the Motown prodigy who won 25 Grammys and taught the world to believe in superstition. Stevie Wonder. The blind musical prodigy was born in 1950 and became a Motown sensation by the age of 13. He recorded his first #1 hit, Fingertips, live at the Regal Theater in Chicago in 1963 before winning 25 Grammys, including his 1972 hit Superstition. Who am I? I grew up in Detroit's largest housing project and studied clothing design in high school before my friends convinced me to join their singing group. In December 1964, my group made their first appearance on a Sunday night variety show that introduced America to both the Beatles and Motown. I was the lead voice of the most successful American vocal group of the 1960s, before topping the charts as a solo artist with Ain't No Mountain High Enough. Diana Ross. The legendary singer was born in 1944 and became the lead voice of Motown's most successful group, The Supremes, by the mid-1960s. She grew up in Detroit's Brewster Douglas projects before her group debuted on The Ed Sullivan Show in December 1964. Who am I? I was colorblind and disqualified from pilot training, so I served in the Pacific as a Navy radio operator and turret gunner during World War II. In 1956, I landed my first major Hollywood role playing a troubled boxer, a part originally intended for James Dean. I was the blue-eyed heartthrob who played Butch Cassidy and sold salad dressing. Paul Newman. The legendary actor was born in 1925, and he replaced James Dean in the 1956 film Somebody Up There Likes Me, before founding Newman's Own, a food company that raised hundreds of millions for seriously ill children. Who am I? I enrolled in a college drama class only to overcome my crippling shyness, and the instructor told me I had natural talent. In 1973, I played a menacing hot rodder in a nostalgic film about 1960s California cast by a director who had hired me to build cabinets. I am the rogue smuggler who flew the Millennium Falcon and the whip-cracking archaeologist who famously hates snakes. Harrison Ford. The legendary actor was born in 1942, and he discovered his acting gift while a student at Ripon College in Wisconsin. George Lucas cast him in American Graffiti in 1973, and he went on to play Han Solo in Star Wars and Indiana Jones in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Who am I? I grew up believing my grandmother was my mother, and my mother was my sister, a family secret I did not learn until my 30s. In 1969, I played an alcoholic lawyer who rode a motorcycle with two hippies, a role that earned me my first Oscar nomination. I am the grinning actor who smashed through a bathroom door with an axe and shouted, "Here's Johnny." Jack Nicholson. The legendary actor was born in 1937 and became the defining anti-hero of 1970s cinema. He earned his first Oscar nomination for Easy Rider in 1969 before terrifying audiences as the axe-wielding caretaker of the Overlook Hotel in The Shining. Who am I? I began taking opera voice lessons at age 12 and initially planned to become an opera singer before discovering acting. In 1978, I starred in a TV miniseries about a family torn apart by Nazi Germany, a role that earned me an Emmy. I am the most Oscar-nominated actor in history and can flawlessly mimic any accent. Meryl Streep. The legendary actress was born in 1949, and she trained as an opera singer before earning her first Emmy for the 1978 miniseries Holocaust. Her record-breaking run of Oscar nominations includes wins for Kramer vs. Kramer, Sophie's Choice, and The Iron Lady. Who am I? I was born in a small Austrian village, and I once went AWOL from the army to compete in a physique contest and spent a week in prison for my ambition. In 1973, I appeared as a bachelor on a popular TV dating game show, competing for a date with a bachelorette who found my accent and physique unforgettable. I am the Austrian bodybuilder who became the Terminator, the governor of California, and famously declared, "I'll be back." Arnold Schwarzenegger. The Austrian-born superstar was born in 1947 and dominated bodybuilding competitions throughout the 1970s. He was selected by a bachelorette on the dating game in 1973 before becoming the time-traveling cyborg in The Terminator in 1984 and the governor of California from 2003 to 2011. Who am I? I was born with a rare double row of eyelashes, and I was discovered by a talent scout while riding my father's horse at a country club at age 9. In 1960, I won my first Academy Award playing a Manhattan call girl, a role my studio forced me to accept despite my public protests. I am the violet-eyed beauty who played Cleopatra, married 8 times, and launched a billion-dollar fragrance empire. Elizabeth Taylor. The legendary actress was born in 1932 and became Hollywood's most bankable star by the 1960s. She won her first Academy Award for Butterfield 8 in 1960 before becoming the most famous Cleopatra in cinema history and launching a billion-dollar fragrance empire. Who am I? I grew up in a Brooklyn housing project without a father and performed in Greenwich Village nightclubs while still in high school. In 1962, I made my Broadway debut in a musical comedy about the garment district, earning a Tony nomination before I turned 21. I am the Brooklyn-born diva who won an Oscar for my very first film role and later became the first woman to direct, produce, write, and star in a major Hollywood film. Barbra Streisand. The legendary performer was born in 1942 and became Broadway's brightest star by the mid-1960s. She earned a Tony nomination in 1962 for I Can Get It For You Wholesale before winning an Oscar for Funny Girl and becoming the first woman to direct, produce, write, and star in a major Hollywood film with Yentl. Who am I? I dropped out of high school at 16 due to severe dyslexia and moved to Los Angeles with nothing but a dream and a bus ticket. In 1965, I and my future husband recorded a folk pop duet that reached #1 and made us instant celebrities. I won an Oscar for a romantic comedy and later topped the Billboard Hot 100 with a dance anthem about believing. Cher. The legendary performer was born in 1946 and became one half of America's most famous singing duo, Sonny and Cher, by the mid-1960s. The hit I Got You Babe reached #1 in 1965, and she later won an Oscar for Moonstruck and topped the Billboard Hot 100 with solo hit Believe. Who am I? I dropped out of high school at 17 and moved to New York City, where I survived on peanut butter sandwiches while auditioning for roles. In 1975, I was cast as a wisecracking high school student in a hit ABC sitcom, becoming a breakout teen heartthrob with a signature catchphrase. I am the actor who taught the world to disco dance in a white 3-piece suit and later sang about greased lightning as the leader of the T-Birds. John Travolta. The legendary actor was born in 1954 and became the defining face of 1970s disco and musical cinema. He made "Up Your Nose with a Rubber Hose" a national catchphrase as Vinnie Barbarino on "Welcome Back, Kotter" in 1975 before teaching the world to disco dance in Saturday Night Fever and leading the T-Birds in Grease. Who am I? I was born with partial facial paralysis from a difficult delivery, and I spent my childhood in Hell's Kitchen and attended a high school for troubled boys. In 1976, I wrote a screenplay about a Philadelphia club fighter in 3 days, refusing to sell it unless the studio let me play the lead. I am the Italian stallion who climbed the steps of the Philadelphia Museum of Art and later became a one-man army rescuing prisoners in Southeast Asia. Sylvester Stallone. The legendary actor was born in 1946 and became the defining underdog of 1970s cinema. He wrote the screenplay for Rocky in 1976 and refused to sell it unless he starred before becoming the Italian stallion and a one-man army in Rambo. Who am I? I was born in East Harlem and raised in the Bronx, and I was nicknamed Sonny and dreamed of becoming a baseball player before a movie performance changed my life. In 1972, I played a reluctant mafia heir in a Francis Ford Coppola film that became the highest-grossing movie of its time. I am the actor who shouted "Attica" during a hostage standoff and later told the world to say hello to my little friend. Al Pacino. The legendary actor was born in 1940 and became the defining screen presence of 1970s cinema. He earned his breakthrough as Michael Corleone in The Godfather in 1972 before shouting "Attica" in Dog Day Afternoon and telling the world to say hello to his little friend in Scarface. Who am I? I was born in Dartford, and I met a future bandmate on a train platform while carrying blues records, and we formed a bond that would last 60 years. In 1964, my band made their American television debut on a Sunday night variety show, shocking parents and thrilling teenagers with their unruly hair and rebellious energy. I am the swaggering frontman who sang about getting no satisfaction and was knighted by the Queen. Mick Jagger. The legendary frontman was born in 1943 and became the face of the British invasion by the mid-1960s. He met Keith Richards on a Dartford train platform before his band, the Rolling Stones, debuted on The Ed Sullivan Show in 1964, and he later sang "I Can't Get No Satisfaction" while being knighted by Queen Elizabeth II. Who am I? I was born in a small Illinois town, and I spent 7 summers as a lifeguard and pulled 77 struggling swimmers to safety. In 1964, I delivered a televised half-hour speech for a presidential candidate that made me an overnight political sensation and launched my journey to the White House. I was the Hollywood actor who became president and famously told Mr. Gorbachev to tear down this wall. Ronald Reagan. The legendary leader was born in 1911 and became the 40th president of the United States in 1981. He saved 77 lives as a lifeguard in Dixon, Illinois before his 1964 televised speech "A Time for Choosing" for Barry Goldwater launched his political career, and he later challenged the Soviet leader to tear down the Berlin Wall. Who am I? I was born in a small Polish town, and I lost my mother at age 9 and my father and brother by age 20. And I worked in a quarry during the Nazi occupation while acting in underground theater. In 1967, I became one of the youngest cardinals in the church, presiding in the Archdiocese of Krakow behind the Iron Curtain. I was the most traveled pope in history who survived an assassination attempt. Pope John Paul II. The spiritual leader was born in 1920 and became the first non-Italian pope in 455 years. After the death of Pope John Paul I, he was elected pope in 1978. He survived an assassination attempt in St. Peter's Square in 1981 while telling the world, "Be not afraid." Who am I? I grew up in the tiny Indiana town of French Lick, where my mother worked 2 jobs and I practiced shooting at a hoop nailed to the side of a barn. In 1979, I led my college team to an undefeated season and the NCAA championship game, a showdown that became the most watched college basketball broadcast in history. I was the slow-talking sharpshooter known as the Hick from French Lick, who won 3 MVP awards and 3 championships. Larry Bird. The legendary basketball player was born in 1956 and became the NBA's most feared clutch shooter by the 1980s. He brought Indiana State to the 1979 NCAA title game with a perfect season record before capturing 3 titles and 3 straight MVP trophies with the Boston Celtics. Who am I? At age 10, a bone infection nearly cost me my leg, and doctors used an experimental drug to save me. In 1962, I defeated the nation's most popular golfer in a major championship playoff at Oakmont, winning my first professional title. I captured a record 18 major championships and became the youngest player to win the career Grand Slam. Jack Nicklaus. The legendary golfer was born in 1940, and he was saved from a childhood leg infection by a then-new antibiotic. He stunned Arnold Palmer in an Oakmont playoff to win the 1962 U.S. Open. He became known as the Golden Bear while winning more major championships than any golfer in history and achieving the Grand Slam before age 27. Who am I? I was a table tennis champion as a child who switched to tennis at age 9 when my father gave me a wooden racket. In 1974, I became the youngest male champion in French Open history at age 18, defeating a seasoned Spanish veteran on the clay courts of Paris. I am the Swedish Iceman who won 5 straight Wimbledon titles with a 2-handed backhand and a trademark headband, retiring from tennis at age 26. Björn Borg. The legendary tennis player was born in 1956 and became the dominant force at the All-England club throughout the late 1970s. He defeated Manuel Orantes at Roland Garros in 1974 before winning 41 consecutive matches on the grass of Wimbledon and walking away from the tour in 1983 while still ranked among the world's best. Who am I? I was the youngest of 8 children in a Pennsylvania steel town and was so skinny as a high school freshman that coaches kept me off the varsity football team. In 1979, I ate chicken soup at halftime of a freezing Texas Bowl game and led a 23-point comeback for Notre Dame. I was the unflappable quarterback known as Joe Cool, who threw the pass resulting in the catch. Joe Montana. The legendary quarterback was born in 1956, growing up in Monongahela, Pennsylvania as the youngest of 8 children. He led Notre Dame's hypothermic comeback against Houston in the 1979 Cotton Bowl, and he later won 4 Super Bowls with San Francisco while connecting with Dwight Clark on the catch in the 1981 NFC Championship. Who am I? I grew up in Depression-era Brooklyn, and a family trip to the 1939 World's Fair ignited a lifelong obsession with the stars. In 1973, I made my first appearance on a late-night talk show hosted by Johnny Carson, where I explained the cosmos to millions of insomniacs. I was the turtleneck-wearing astronomer who hosted a 13-part television journey through the universe. Carl Sagan. The legendary astronomer was born in 1934, and a childhood visit to the Flushing Meadows Exposition in 1939 sparked his cosmic curiosity. He later guided viewers through the universe in Cosmos, a personal voyage, while forever associating his name with the phrase billions and billions. Who am I? I was born in a London suburb to an Irish family, and I was a tomboy who sang in folk groups with my brother before discovering American rhythm and blues. In 1963, my debut single reached the top 5 in both Britain and America, introducing my distinctive husky voice to the world. I am the British songstress who recorded a soul classic in Memphis about a preacher's son. Dusty Springfield. The legendary singer was born in 1939, and she performed in London folk clubs alongside her brother before producer Johnny Frantz launched her solo career with I Only Want to Be With You in 1963. She later cut the classic Son of a Preacher Man in Memphis while sporting a towering beehive that became her visual trademark. Who am I? I was born in a Cardiff Docklands slum to a Nigerian sailor and a teenage English mother, and I left school at 14 to work in a factory and sang in working men's clubs on weekends. In 1964, I recorded the theme for a spy film about a gold-obsessed villain, becoming the first Welsh woman to sing a Bond theme. I am the glamorous Welsh diva with the powerful voice who sang 3 James Bond themes and filled concert halls with my signature dramatic stage presence. Shirley Bassey. The legendary singer was born in 1937 and became the voice of James Bond by the mid-1960s. Her 1964 recording of Goldfinger reached number 8 in America before she returned to sing Diamonds Are Forever in 1971 and Moonraker in 1979, making her the only vocalist to record 3 separate 007 themes. Who am I? A childhood bout of polio in the Canadian prairies left me hospitalized for weeks, and I first discovered my voice by singing to the other children in the ward. In 1969, I made my national TV debut on a primetime variety show hosted by the Man in Black, performing a song about illusions. I am the Canadian songwriter who painted my songs in Laurel Canyon and wrote an anthem for a generation-defining music festival I never attended. Joni Mitchell. The legendary singer-songwriter was born in 1943 and became the confessional voice of the Laurel Canyon era by the early 1970s. She spent part of her Saskatchewan childhood in a hospital ward before debuting on the Johnny Cash Show in 1969, and her compositions Big Yellow Taxi and Woodstock anchored the landmark albums Ladies of the Canyon and Blue. Who am I? I was born in Melbourne, and I performed on Australian TV from age 4 and toured with my parents' vaudeville act before moving to America as a single mother with only $200. In 1971, I recorded a ballad from a rock opera that became my first top 15 hit and earned me an invitation to The Tonight Show. I am the Australian singer who became the first Down Under vocalist to win a Grammy. Helen Reddy. The legendary singer was born in 1941 and became the anthem voice of the women's movement by the early 1970s. Her 1971 recording of I Don't Know How to Love Him from Jesus Christ Superstar brought her to The Tonight Show, and her 1972 anthem, I Am Woman, made her the first Australian to win a Grammy. Who am I? I was born in Montreal, and I performed on Canadian radio as a child and spent my summers as a camp counselor before studying economics at McGill University. In 1963, I starred in a famous episode of a CBS anthology series about a man who sees a gremlin on the wing of an airplane. I am the Canadian actor who commanded the USS Enterprise, wore a gold tunic, and became science fiction's most iconic captain. William Shatner. The legendary actor was born in 1931 and became science fiction's most famous captain by the late 1960s. He grew up in Montreal broadcasting on CBC Radio and supervising children at summer camps before enrolling at McGill University. He terrified air travelers in the Twilight Zone in 1963 before commanding the USS Enterprise as Captain James T. Kirk on Star Trek. Who am I? I left school at 15 and spent my teenage years painting the Sydney Harbour Bridge and working as an electrician before trying stand-up comedy. In 1984, I invited Americans to visit Australia by offering to slip an extra shrimp on the Barbie during a tourism campaign that dominated American television. I am the Australian bushman who became a global movie star with a giant knife and a famous line about "that's not a knife." Paul Hogan. The legendary actor was born in 1939 and became Australia's most famous export by the mid-1980s. The Australian Tourism Commission made him a household name with the 1984 Shrimp on the Barbie campaign. He co-wrote and starred in Crocodile Dundee in 1986, winning a Golden Globe, while the film broke Australian box office records. Who am I? I was born in Ottawa, and I was diagnosed with Tourette's and Asperger's as a child, and spent my teenage years obsessed with law enforcement and the supernatural. In 1975, I became one of the original cast members of a late-night sketch comedy show that revolutionized American television. I am the Canadian comedian who asked America who they were gonna call and wore a black fedora as half of a rhythm and blues duo. Dan Aykroyd. The legendary comedian was born in 1952 and became a cornerstone of American sketch comedy by the late 1970s. He debuted as an original cast member on Saturday Night Live in 1975, and he later co-wrote Ghostbusters and co-created The Blues Brothers with John Belushi. Who am I? I worked as a golf caddy at a Chicago area country club to pay for my Catholic school education, and my older brother caddied alongside me. In 1977, I joined the second season of a late-night sketch comedy show as a replacement for its breakout star. I hunted ghosts in New York, was groundskeeper at Bushwood, and woke up to the same song every morning in Punxsutawney. Bill Murray. The legendary comedian was born in 1950 and became the defining deadpan voice of American comedy by the 1980s. He joined Saturday Night Live in 1977, and he later starred in the 1980 golf farce Caddyshack, the 1984 supernatural hit Ghostbusters, and the 1993 time loop comedy Groundhog Day. Who am I? I was performing stand-up in a Long Island youth center at age 15, doing impressions of Bill Cosby and Richard Pryor. In 1980, I joined the cast of a struggling late-night sketch show at age 19 and became its breakout star with a parody of a children's television host. I am the comedian who traded places with a Wall Street executive, solved crimes in Beverly Hills, and played every member of the Klump family in a nutty remake. Eddie Murphy. The legendary comedian was born in 1961 and became the biggest box office star of the 1980s. He honed impressions of Cosby and Pryor as a teenager in Roosevelt before joining Saturday Night Live in 1980 and creating Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood, and he later starred in Trading Places and Beverly Hills Cop, while playing every member of the Klump family in The Nutty Professor. Did you keep track of your score? Post it in the comments. Thanks for playing Who Am I? See you in the next game.